Hello, so I just wanted to say today I've been thinking about parapraxis, which is also known as a Freudian slip, and I wanted to say it's something that kind of comes out, it's unconscious, and it you can think of it as a blunder. However, I don't think it's necessarily a blunder. I think it's a very conscious thought, or not necessarily conscious, but it's an unconscious thought that surfaces itself. So if you think of things in terms of Jung, and Jung is another psychologist, he's a Swiss psychologist, and he talks a lot about the shadow, right? And the shadow, it really wants to vocalize itself, but it's a suppressed side of yourself, right? And so Freud talks about the unconscious a lot, and Jung talks a lot about the shadow, and the shadow is a repressed side of yourself that you neglect. And how this is tied together is a Freudian slip is your shadow wanting to say something. It desperately wants to be validated because you suppress it, right? And so maybe if you're like, for example, a Freudian slip would be you have somebody like a teacher and you say, I really care about you. You are like just like my mother. And they're not your mother. They're just a mother figure in your life, right? And so that's your unconscious saying, I see you just as if you were my mother. And that's not socially appropriate. That's so like socially inappropriate to say. But it is something that your unconscious wants to say desperately, like, please, like, I want you to be a mother figure to me. And so, and it's not necessarily like a bad thing. And I want you to know, if you have a Freudian slip, it's not a blunder. It's just being genuine. And so the more genuine you are, the more your unconscious comes out. And the more you allow yourself to say, hey, like, I view you as this. I see you as something like this. The more you allow your unconscious self to kind of come into play, the more balanced you're going to be as a human. And it's really important to validate your feelings. Like, if you see a friend as a mentor figure, or if you see a teacher as an authority figure, almost as if they were your parent, I don't think there's necessarily something wrong with that. I just think that the Freudian slip is expressing a genuine feeling that you want to say that's not socially appropriate. And it's alright to have these quote-unquote slip-ups, right? And it's alright to have feelings in regards to this. It's just that society doesn't want to validate that. They're gonna be like, no, there's something seriously wrong with you for saying that. And that's not necessarily the case. Like, if you have, these different people in your lives and you say something, maybe you mess up their name. You call your best friend by somebody else's name, like a lover's name. It just means that you're close with that person. It doesn't mean that you see them that way. It just means that you're very close. You have some sort of relationship with them that you want to express genuinely, and you made a verbal mistake. Even though the feeling is genuine and it's been expressed in a genuine way, and your unconscious is telling you, please express me. Please, I want to be expressed. I want to be validated. And that's alright. I just want to say, the more genuine you are and the more you implement your shadow, the better, stronger version of yourself is going to come out, And that's alright. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you have a Freudian slip, just say, oop, I did not mean to say that. However, I do see you in a certain way that is similar to that. And, just validate it. Don't just deny. Just say, hey, it is kind of like that, but I didn't mean it that way, So, I hope that this kind of brings some insight into that concept. Thank you.